Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you the top 50 stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin. In our top stories, in Bangladesh, a video has surfaced showing people beating up a man in a police station. The video shows a 22-year-old from minority Hindu community being thrashed for allegedly posting derogatory remarks against the Prophet Muhammad. He has been charged with blasphemy. The incident took place in Bangladesh's southwestern city of Khulna. Now, the armed forces were deployed in the area to control the situation. China has ended its 3-decade-old foreign adoption program. This halts the adoption of Chinese babies by non-citizens. The decision comes amid China's declining birth rate. The country's new policy allows adoptions only by blood relatives or stepchildren. The decision has put parents with pending adoption applications in limbo, and the US has sought a clarification from China on how this decision will impact the pending applications. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that he is ready to hold talks with Ukraine. He has named 3 countries that can potentially broker a truce. The Russian president said that India, China, or Brazil could act as potential mediators for the Ukraine-Russia talks. The US has booked 5 Russian intelligence officials and a civilian. They have been accused of conspiring to launch cyberattacks against Ukraine and its allies. In an earlier indictment, the US had named only 1 person in June. Now, in the revised indictment, the US Justice Department said that a cyber unit of Russian military intelligence conducted large-scale cyber operations starting from 2020. Hunter Biden, the son of US President Joe Biden, has pled guilty to tax evasion charges. In a Los Angeles federal courthouse, Hunter Biden admitted to failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes between 2016 and 2019. Prosecutors claim that the money was instead spent on luxury living, sex workers, and drugs. Hunter Biden faces up to 17 years in prison and a $1 million fine. His sentencing is set for the 16th of December. And US President Joe Biden has called for a ban on assault weapons. Biden asked for urgent legislative action against gun violence. He is seeking universal background checks and holding parents accountable if their children access firearms. His remarks come days after a school shooting in the state of Georgia left 4 dead and 9 others wounded. And Georgia state officials have arrested the father of the school shooting suspect. The officials claim that the father knowingly allowed his son to have the weapon. This as a 14-year-old suspect killed 4 people and wounded 9 others at a high school on Wednesday. The Colombian police are cracking down on the truckers' protest in the country. In the capital of Bogota, the police cleared roads using tear gas and tow trucks. This came as a strike by truckers over a diesel price hike entered its 4th day yesterday. The Colombian government has reversed its initial increase to diesel prices. However, it is now proposing an increase of 4 cents per gallon each month from September to December. Judicial workers hit the streets in Mexico to protest against the government's bid to reform the judiciary. Mexico's lower house of Congress approved a legislation that would overhaul the country's judicial system. The proposed changes include the election of justices by a popular vote. The reform has triggered widespread protests in Mexico. And Haiti has expanded its state of emergency to the entire nation. The measure follows a visit to the nation by the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Blinken said that he hoped to see an electoral council established soon to hold elections in Haiti next year. Haiti witnessed massive gang violence earlier this year, which led to the ouster of then Prime Minister Ariel Henry. The incumbent Prime Minister, Gary Conille, took over after Henri's exit. And in climate news, southern China is bracing for Super Typhoon Yagi. Now, the authorities have shut schools and suspended flights in the region. Hong Kong's stock exchange and other businesses were also closed. At least 400,000 people have been evacuated in China's Hainan province ahead of the typhoon's landfall. Heavy rains battered parts of northern Italy. At least 2 bridges collapsed in the Piedmont region. Floods also hit Lombardy and Veneto in northern Italy. Lombardy's capital, Milan, experienced widespread damage and transport disruptions. And heavy rains hit the Uday province in Chad. At least 15 people were killed after a school classroom collapsed. The victims included 14 children and their teacher. Central Africa is experiencing devastating floods, with Chad being among the worst-hit nations. Over 240,000 people are affected in the country. And according to the International Organization for Migration, flooding and storms have affected nearly 600,000 people across Yemen. At least 95 people have been killed in the country's western Al-Hudaydah region so far. The UN agency has made an appeal for over $13 million in donations for Yemen. The summer of 2024 has been the world's hottest on record. This is according to the European Union's Climate Change Monitoring Service. This year's summer, from June to August, surpassed last year's record, and the EU Climate Monitor said that the record high temperatures were due to the El Niño weather phenomenon and climate change. The Bosna River, which flows through Bosnia's capital Sarajevo, has dried up and been reduced to shallow pools. This is due to an extended summer drought in the Balkans. The Bosna has been a key source of drinking water in Sarajevo. Now, a number of Balkan countries have logged their hottest summer on record this year. Temperatures have soared to as high as 40 degrees Celsius there. And South Korea has witnessed its highest ever average summer temperature. Between June and August, the average temperature in the country was 25.6 degrees Celsius. This marks an increase of 1.9 degrees Celsius compared to the historical average for South Korean summers. A massive wildfire is moving closer to Ecuador's capital, Quito. Firefighters battled the blaze for the second straight day as it reached houses on Quito's outskirts. Several people were also evacuated from their homes in Tumaco City. Residents scrambled to move their pets and livestock to safety. And multiple wildfires have broken out in northern Peru. Strong winds have fueled the fires, worsening the situation. In the Ancash region, firefighters battled a flame that has burned 40 hectares of pine forest. As of now, there are 21 active wildfires in Peru. Local authorities say that most of them were caused by human action. A wildfire broke out in Spain's Galicia region yesterday. It charred at least 300 hectares of land. Around 25 residents were evacuated as the flames approached houses in the village of Crescente. Now, strong winds have stoked fears that more wildfires may erupt in the coming days. And on to business and tech news now. The U.S. Committee on Foreign Investment has reportedly sent a letter to Japan's Nippon Steel. It opposed the company's $14.9 billion plan to acquire U.S. steel. The Committee on Foreign Investment reviews investments from foreign firms in the U.S. It said the Nippon-U.S. Steel merger could lead to lower domestic steel production capacity. President Joe Biden is reportedly planning to block the merger, citing national security concerns. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is investigating the 4 largest U.S. airlines. This includes American Airlines, Delta, Southwest, and United. The U.S. Department of Transportation has sought information about their frequent flyer programs. The programs offer customers with points or miles, which can be redeemed for airfare, discounts, or seat upgrades. However, passengers complain that airlines often devalue the points they earn. And Japanese retail giant 7-Eleven has rejected a takeover bid from Canada's Alimentation Couche-Tard. Now, the firm had offered $38.5 billion to buy 7-Eleven's parent company, 7&I Holdings. However, the Japanese firm said that the proposal was not in the interest of its shareholders. It added that Couche-Tard would need to raise the offer very significantly for any chance of acquisition. And China is merging two of its largest state-owned brokerage firms, Guotai Junan Securities and Haitong Securities. The combined entity would be the country's largest stock market brokerage firm. It would hold assets worth about $230 billion, surpassing current leader CITIC Securities. Now, the new company would be partly owned by Shanghai State Assets Administrator. And Japan has announced a $2.4 billion in subsidies to boost its electric vehicle battery production. The government says it will support 12 projects for the production of EV batteries and their components. This includes projects by Toyota Motors, Nissan Motors, and joint projects with Panasonic. The move is expected to double Japan's storage battery production capacity. And American telecom firm Verizon has announced plans to acquire fiber optic internet provider Frontier Communications. The deal is valued at $20 billion. The acquisition is expected to help Verizon to grow its subscriber base. Frontier has 2.2 million internet subscribers across 25 U.S. states. It will merge with Verizon's approximately 7.4 million users in the country. And U.S. software maker Smartsheet is reportedly in talks to buy out a bid. A consortium led by American investment firms Blackstone and Vista Equity Partners is looking to acquire the Washington-based firm. Smartsheet provides workplace collaboration software. Its clients include firms like Pfizer, Cisco, and American Airlines, among others. And software maker Salesforce has announced plans to acquire data protection firm-owned company. The deal has been valued at $1.9 billion. Owned company provides data protection and management tools to businesses. The acquisition aims to help boost Salesforce's data, security, and privacy products business. 4 American chipmakers have been asked to testify before a Senate committee next week. These include AMD, Intel, Texas Instruments, and Analog Devices. Now, the committee is said that the products of these firms have consistently appeared in Russian weapons used in Ukraine, and it wants to investigate whether the chipmakers are complying with sanctions that block American firms from selling technology to Russia. And the US, UK, and European Union have signed a new treaty on artificial intelligence. The treaty, called the AI Convention, focuses on protecting the human rights of people affected by AI systems. It is being dubbed as the world's first legally binding international treaty for AI. According to the Human Rights Organization Council of Europe, the convention has been in the works for years and was adopted after discussions between 57 countries. And moving on to sports news, and we start with cricket. Quinton de Kock has been crowned the Cricketer of the Year at the Cricket South Africa Annual Awards. The former Proteas captain also bagged the Test Cricketer of the Year award. Meanwhile, Anrich Nortje was given the title of International Men's Newcomer of the Year. And Pakistan's cricket board is considering a venue change for their upcoming test series against England. The 3-match series was supposed to take place in Multan, Karachi and Rawalpindi, but these stadiums are currently being renovated for the Champions Trophy 2025. Pakistan's cricket board is reportedly planning to shift the England series to Sri Lanka or the UAE. In football, Portuguese talisman Cristiano Ronaldo netted his 900th career goal. Ronaldo scored in Portugal's Nations League game against Croatia. The 39-year-old got emotional after achieving the milestone. Ronaldo's tally includes 131 international goals, 450 for Real Madrid, 145 for Manchester United, and 101 for Juventus. He has also netted 68 times for his current club, Al Nassr, as well as 5 goals for his first club, Sporting Lisbon. And Team USA's legendary footballer Alex Morgan has called time on her career. She is often considered one of the greatest goal scorers in US women's football. She has 123 international career goals to her name. Morgan's last professional match will be on the 8th of September. And the English Premier League club Chelsea have left out Cole Palmer from the Conference League squad. Other 2 big absentees are midfielder Romeo Lavia and defender Wesley Fofana. The move is to rest Palmer in the league phase of the competition. It will also help Lavia and Fofana to work their way back from injuries. All of the players can be re-registered for the knockout rounds starting the 6th of February. And in tennis, America's Jessica Pegula has entered the US Open final. She ousted Karolina Muchova of Czech Republic in the semis. Pegula came back from a set down to register a 1-6, 6-4, 6-2 win, and she will now face world number 2, Aryna Sabalenka, in the final round. And over in the mixed doubles of the US Open, Italy's Sara Errani and Andrea Vavasori emerged as winners. Now they saw off American pair Taylor Townsend and Donald Young. Now the Italian duo claimed a 7-6, 7-5 win to clinch the title. And Swimming Australia has sacked coach Michael Palfrey after his controversial comments. Palfrey backed a South Korean swimmer to win over Australian rivals in the Paris Olympics. His remarks sparked severe backlash from Australian officials and the country's Olympic Committee. Swimming Australia said Palfrey's comment was damaging to its reputation. Indian javelin ace Neeraj Chopra has qualified for the Diamond League final in Brussels. He has featured only in 2 editions of the Diamond League this season. Neeraj booked his spot by finishing 4th in the overall standings. The Diamond League final is set to be held on the 13th and 14th of September. And world champion Sha'Carri Richardson has claimed victory in the women's 100 meters final at the Zurich Diamond League. The American logged a distance of 10.84 seconds to win gold. St. Lucia's Julian Alfred came second, and Britain's Dina Asher-Smith finished third. And Taylor Swift was spotted at the Kansas City Chiefs National Football League season opener match last night. The American singer was in the Arrowhead Stadium to cheer her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, who plays for the team. The Chiefs were playing against the Baltimore Ravens. And on to other entertainment news now. Lady Gaga got candid about her version of the character of Harley Quinn from the comic book Joker, Folie 2. Now, the Grammy-winning artist is playing the character in Todd Phillips' upcoming film of the same name, alongside Joaquin Phoenix. She said that her portrayal of Harley Quinn was personal. She said that it related to the experience of mania and chaos inside her. And rock band Linkin Park has selected singer Emily Armstrong as its new co-vocalist. Armstrong co-founded the band Sarah Dead in 2005. The announcement follows Linkin Park's new single, The Emptiness Machine, which is its first new music release in 7 years. And singer Adele designed her own fun newspaper, claiming it followed after years of putting up with the tabloids. The 36-year-old shared stories from her Munich shows, pointing out highlights of her trip. She called her tabloid the Satin Times. And rapper Rich Homie Quan dies at the age of 34. The Atlanta rapper is best known for his songs Type of Way and Flex. The cause of his death is not known yet. Actor Liev Schreiber has opened up about not being called back for Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine. Schreiber played the role of Sabretooth in the prequel X-Men Origins Wolverine. In an interview, the former Ray Donovan star said that he was surprised that people were campaigning for him to be in the movie. And he said, and I quote, "I was just so overwhelmed by the outpouring of support from fans who watched." Paramount Plus has released the trailer of Landman. The new drama series is an adaptation of the Christian Wallace's 2019 podcast, Boomtown. The show is based on Billy Bob Thornton's character, Tommy Norris's, who works as a peacekeeper in the World Texas oil rigs. And a new trailer for the highly anticipated musical film Wicked has been released. The trailer begins with Glinda, played by Ariana Grande, announcing the news of the death of the Wicked Witch of the West character. The film's first trailer was released earlier this year, featuring Ariana Grande's song Popular. Wicked is set to premiere in November. And the firefighter drama series 911 Lone Star is officially set to end with its upcoming Season 5. The final season will premiere on the 23rd of September. The series finale is scheduled for early 2025. 911 Lone Star is produced by 20th Century Television in association with Ryan Murphy Television. And a powerful thunderstorm battered the Venice Film Festival yesterday. Actors and filmmakers were seen fleeing the famous red carpet as rain and strong winds lashed the venue. The premiere of the documentary Russians at War and the Georgian film April was disrupted. At the main cinema complex, film stars and event staff were seen holding umbrellas. And that's all on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for being with us. Stay tuned to Firstpost.